South Africa, Portugal, Norway, Germany, Estonia and Hungary as we all struggle to get our breaths back. Lebon Mahegseng and Murray Bale-Smith from South Africa on the far side. Alfonso Duarte Costa and his brother Dinas from Portugal. Norway, Lars Benska and Askial Tom in lane 3. There's the Germans, Paul Leerkamp and Arno Gauss in lane 4. Ander Koppel and Ela Lut from Estonia in 5. And Bent Tamas and Peter Galambos from Hungary on this near side in lane 6.
So look, I don't think it's worth us trying to make any kind of predictions on what's going to happen on the basis of what we've seen this morning. Fantastic racing, lovely shots here. We're getting that German double moving so well together, and you'll see it. This is the camera on the 500-metre mark. Live pictures, 3 to qualify, and yeah, I mean, it's the only boat that looks down a little bit is the Norwegians in the middle of the field, who we might expect to be slightly further up. Otherwise, yeah, whose race is this one going to be?
And it looks like Portugal will just take the lead through the first 500 metres. That Portuguese double placing 4th at the European Championships just recently after an 11th place finish in Lucerne earlier this year.
And I know what is going to happen with that Portuguese double is we're going to hear the voice of John West, my old coach from the bicycles, going alongside them, because he's been working with that double and they've been going pretty well this year.
Yeah, you want to be out in front, don't you? As we look at the scene behind the Portuguese.
Or do you, Martin, having watched these races and people coming from the field?
I think the Portuguese are good enough to hold that position, personally, in this race.
Yeah, I think you could be right, but it's very early and plenty to go on in these races, as we've seen.
Mahegseng and Bale-Smith over on the far side, just dropping off the pace a little bit. Portugal leading. Benska and Tom, we know what their second half is like. Paul Leerkamp and Arno Gauss maybe just got the quality to head off the Estonians, Koppel and Lut. But at the moment, Koppel and Lut are going toe-to-toe with the Germans, and the Norwegians are out of a qualifying position.
Yeah, the Norwegians have had a bit of an up-and-down season, haven't they? 12th at the Europeans just recently, but picking up medals at World Cups 1 and 2.
Yeah, we think they were probably ill at the Europeans, didn't we?
I reckon there was a bit of illness in the team.
Yeah, they look so good getting gold, like you say, early on at Poznan, and they're kind of working their way back into it. And this German double have looked better than most other German crews that we saw them race pretty well in Poznan, get close to a medal. So I can't help thinking they're going to kind of stay in it. And then what about the Estonians?
Yeah, the Estonians are having a decent scull. Didn't pick them to be this far up the field, coached by Vecchio Sinisalo. I think he's from Finland, their coach, but Koppel and Lut, 24 and 23 years of age, respectively. Been in the B finals, as you heard already. Just not quite sure if they're going to have the pace to stay with the field over this second 1,000 metres.
But we're seeing yet another race, another quarterfinal where we've got 4 boats locked together, early race leaders. Portugal starting to maybe give up a little bit of distance as these 3 boats locked together, bow ball for bow ball, now about half a length up onto the Portuguese crew.
Well, it's now time to really kind of dig deep, isn't it? We're into this middle of the 3rd quarter. Yeah, I'd be nervous in that Portuguese boat that they got up and they had that lead, and now they're seeing the field come back to them. I think they're going to be strong enough from what we've seen earlier in the year to hang on to a qualifying place, but remember, it's only 3 of these 4 who are going to make it.
And such is the state that German rowing has descended to, is that you know, you've got the German team looking on at this lightweight men's double and thinking, I hope they make the semi-final, because you know we need some representatives up at the top end of the field for the finals days.
Yeah, well, here we go, coming into the last 500. I wonder if they'll be able to make it in that shake-up. For me, the Estonians look like they've made a little move on. They've tried to sort of pick the rate up. Norway are at 39. They look like they might just overhaul the the Portuguese. They've kind of been reeling them in for the last 1,000 metres, and all to play for.
Yeah, that's John West's voice. You can hear it from the back. The team from Hungary, Galambos, hasn't found his mojo on this near side as we go up to the front of the field. Estonia and Germany fighting for that 3rd place.
Norway up at 39 strokes per minute, now just almost edging their bow ahead of Portugal, but it looks as though Portugal is responding. They're up at 38 strokes per minute as well. Bow ball for bow ball, but these crews know it's time to start to head for home. It's 300 metres, less than 300 metres to the finish, and there's 4 boats in contention for 3 spots.
Am I going too early to say there's 2 races going on here? One's between the Portuguese and Norway for who's going to win it, and the other is between Estonia and Germany for who's going to get the last place?
Yeah, I have to apologise to the Estonians because they have had what it takes to be competitive over the second 1,000 metres. The Germans just throwing in a sprint, maybe have half a metre on the Estonians. Good news for the German team. Estonia, will they be able to answer the German charge?
But what a fantastic race at the head of the field. They are now pretty much barrel to barrel. Portugal are up at 43, Norway at 42. Stroke for stroke, who's going to get it for the win? It's looking slightly like Norway now, and the German yellow boat looks like it's just pushing its way in to that all-important 3rd qualifying place. Here we go, down to the line. Going to be too tough to call here by my eye. That's a photo. But Germany get it over Estonia, which is probably the more important call right now. Wow, another great race.
Another great race. The Portuguese just having to give up that first place to a tremendous charge from Bensky and Thion as we wait for the Hungarians and the South Africans to cross the line back in 5th and 6th place.
Well, that's gone up on the screen there. You see them in front of you. It looks like it's Norway who are going to have got first place. They are just a tiny bit ahead as we have a look here at these pictures. The form has gone, but they're just wrestling those boats over the line. What a fantastic picture of them looking at each other and hanging on. Who got it as they crossed the line? And I'm sure we'll see a final confirmation. It looks like it's going to be Norway when those times come up. And there you see it. It's Norway ahead of Portugal and Germany, and Estonia getting pushed down, not making those AB semi-finals.